Okay, but by Boris Vallejo?
Yeah, Vallejo is yeah. And the publisher, James Warren, I did a job for him. He's great. He's cool. He knew these kind of guys. They did work for him in publications like Creepy, Eerie, I believe, and Vampirella.
Okay.
He's really cool. Dude.
John, what do you think of objectification of women in comics?
Yeah.
No!
The female body is a beautiful object.
I meant as a topic, not as a high five.
A topic. No, don't make it a
Dude,
topic.
high five.
Just show it off, ladies. You got your only cartoons anyway. You're just
He
comic
said,
book
yeah.
cartoons anyway. You're just cartoon comic books anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're literal, actual, factual objects, and that is a point. That's a very good point that my good friend here makes.
You should exemplify the beauty of a woman's body, especially if you love her behind closed doors. And do we want them looking fat and ugly? I'm sorry, people into fat people and ugly people.
Yeah, but listen, there's something out there called the fat acceptance movement.
Yeah.
And the body positivity movement, right?
That's good.
So what they're saying is if you
don't like fat people, they're bad.
Yeah, exactly. But to give more context, John, there was, for example, there was a fitness girl, and she worked really hard at being, look, man, I walk a whole lot, and I've been trying to get back in shape. I'm trying to run, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to get my acting back on. And I looked at some of these models, right, as an inspiration. I like where they were coming from. But this girl, she's got a body on point and everything like that, and she was on a billboard. And it said, "Is your body beach body ready?" Right? So a bunch of fat women took out their markers. And they wrote all over her. They scribbled all over her. If you have a body, then you are beach body ready, right? And then they tried to sue the agency and stuff like that for body shaming, regular women and fat women, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know. What do you think about these sorts of things going on?
At one time, fat chicks were the thing.
Well, I mean,
voluptuous women, sure. They're the ones to go for. Was anybody activating against that? Activating you? No, there, we're skinny. Or why then the catwalk to keep on breaking it? Oh, I'm bad, aren't I? Okay, it's joke time.
Look,
oops.
Man.
I just curious, wanted to join the Overeaters Anonymous. It turns out, at the door, they told me it was a beginner's meeting, and there's no room. Oh, no.
I'm sorry, I'm full. Sorry, we're full.
We're full. We're full. All right. Then I went to a Sex and Love Anonymous meeting. They said they hated me. I guess it works.
Look, man. All right, look. What do you think? Well, who do you think should get reparations?
Me. I suffered.
You suffered?
Me too.
The fuck did you suffer?
Oh, shit. Let me count the ways.
Have you heard of Foundational Black Americans? Foundational Black American.
Were they there?
Well, yes.
Representation is what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, the concept of
for the ones that were there.
The concept of because it's a lineage, and it's also what they are presenting as basically. One, it's a lineage, and two, it's the concept that they, Black Americans who were here.
It should be inheriting
No, I didn't say. No, I mean I didn't say inherit anything, but that they created a whole bunch of stuff here, like the economy of the United States. They're saying that Black people did that. By being the ones who supplied the economics. I'm saying what the presentation is. I don't know about any of the stuff. All I do is I listen to certain people speak, and then I look up what they say, and I see good points here. Yeah, some stuff here, some stuff there. But basically, the the argument is that they, through slave labor, picking cotton, not just picking cotton, but slaves did way more than pick cotton. You know, farm work, a bunch of inventions, because black people, for a long time, they were not allowed to get patents at the patent office. You know what I'm saying? So they're saying that they are foundational Black American, as in they built this country. They were the founders of the country, and
Can they prove it?
well, I mean,
Because there's been people that try to prove their lineage and found out they're from a queen and king lineage.
well, that's fine
Came
too.
in
But
three on the boat.
when you say can they prove it, prove it how? What do you mean?
Can they prove it historically that through a study of their family tree and genealogy that
Well, I think-
they're members of their family and their history were responsible for things?
Well, I imagine that it's something as simple as looking through family records and they can find something, you know. But I thought you meant,
Have they? Are they showing it?
I don't know, but I thought you meant can they prove it, as in can they prove that they were the ones who built the country?
And their ancestors. I mean, they're great, whoever.
Well, and that's the other thing. The other argument is that the flip side argument that a lot of white people are making is that white people built the country using black labor, and so it's not really black people that built it; it's white people using black labor. So
Who would make that an argument? Though?
well, I mean, lots of white nationalists, white supremacists, and stuff like that. You know, but
I think they're hanging out the same subject and just trying to take credit and not necessarily knowing the absolute truth. Now, first off, the first slaves didn't come in until many pilgrims were already settling down. Settlers were already here,
yes, but
building up some stuff too. Yeah,
you said the Pilgrims.
yeah, and there was already
No, but-
establishments and whatnot before the first slave even stepped off a boat.
I understand that, but
historically, right? Anyway,
and I don't want. Listen, man, I want FBAs to come at me in the comments section. So I'm gonna try to represent the argument best I can. The argument is that African Americans were not brought here on slave ships; that they've already been here. That there are a lot of the American Indians who are dark-skinned black people. If you look at not Little Richard too, but Little Richard, James Brown, who else? What's that guy?
what do I say?
Chuck Berry looks like a straight up Native American Indian. Yeah. He looks like a straight up Native American. Yeah, he looks like an Indian guy. At least most of the images I've seen of Chuck Berry, he looks like a Native American guy. I thought before I knew he was a black guy, I thought he was a Native American guy.
Well, they have talked in found history of the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then some people will say that they were slaves that they grabbed up
Look,
and integrated into society.
FBA are saying that there's been an ethnogenesis. It's not just about genetics, and it's not just about politics, and it's not just about family history. What else is it not about? It's not just about legalities. It's a mix of all that stuff, right? And in between, having the black people who were already here originally, right, and interbreeding with some of the Africans who were brought over as slaves, with a little bit of other stuff in between, right? And from that point, building up a legacy by themselves here, that there was an my editor's gonna edit that out, right?
What, the cough? No, keep it in. It keeps it real.
Keeps it real.
Yeah.
So
Let me cough.
he's gonna cough.
Get on video. Oh, you stupid tree.
All right, so they're saying that between all that, there's an ethnogenesis, right? Meaning that ethnicity began there. That they don't belong in Africa, they don't belong in Europe, they don't belong anywhere else but here, because there was an ethnogenesis here between the factions of the black Native Americans that were here, mixing with the Africans that came here, right? Mixing with probably even other other kinds of people, right? And they made a unique ethnicity. They formed a unique ethnicity, right? And that ethnicity,
Who you said, Chuck Berry?
Chuck Berry, for example,
Chuck
James
Berry.
Brown. No. Listen, hey, it's not a joke, man. Chuck Berry looks like a Native American. Man, look up some of the older images of Chuck Berry. Not the ones where later on, but even the ones later on, he looked like a Native American to me. But anyhow,
You ever see him with a headdress of feathers and stuff?
no, I haven't seen him wear that.
Dancing at all? No?
What would he?
I like to keep it light.
What would he? Look, so there was an ethnogenesis, and due to that, that distinct ethnic group was formed, and that distinct ethnic group is what gave us certain kinds of the refrigerator. Certain kinds
Really?
of there's been different kinds of refrigerators. The concept, the principle of refrigeration is old, very old.
Yeah.
For example, the
Take a
yakel.
hole and bury it.
Take a hole and bury it. That's called the Saudis did it, and it's called the yakel, right?
Yeah.
It's called the yakel. So that's the principle of refrigeration there. But the refrigerator, there's a very distinct version of the refrigerator that we use now that African Americans created, right?
Okay.
Because before then, they just had something called an ice box. You put ice in a box.
Yeah, ice delivered.
And it cools,
Ice hooks.
delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the hooks, right? They had the hooks on
When
the...
the people over there.
There you go. But African Americans created, one African American created that. I believe, I'm not sure if the bulletproof vest was created by an African American woman or just a woman in general. But I do know the Kevlar was made by a woman. I'll have to check if it's an African
They
American.
say Levi's.
Levi's?
Well, denim.
Denim?
As far as
I
they're
have
making
no-
it out of like potato sacks to protect their legs. The
Oh,
ones in the field.
perhaps. I
And
don't
then
know.
Levi Strauss, I believe, was developed off the idea of a plantation worker,
Oh, okay.
slave.
Well, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what I heard.
If you heard it, listen. No, but the thing is, if you heard it, listen. No, here's John. Nobody wants to give slaves credit for anything. So just the fact that you heard it must means, oh, are you crazy? Look, man.
They deserve a lot of credit for a lot of things.
No,
That's
man.
why I didn't
No.
like. Can I say this is very political platform right now? When Kamala Harris, I'm mentioning her name, when she jumped in, it's like, how dare they say that they learned something while being slaves and used those things when they became free afterwards? How dare they say that? But what are you saying? They were say dumb, didn't learn anything, didn't come up with anything, didn't develop any talents. Huh?
Let me ask you
And it's not
something.
to distract or justify
What do you think?
slavery.
What do you think of
But it's
Juneteenth?
the truth,
What do you think of
honest.
Juneteenth?
I still don't even understand.
You don't know what Juneteenth is?
It's a celebration of someone.
No. Well,
I wasn't sure it was the gay community or a certain
no, it's not
race,
the gay
to be honest.
community. You know what? One of the things I don't like is
right.
stacking. You know what that is? I mean, I call it stacking, so there's no way you know what that is. Stacking for me, it's a term I came up with where the dominant society, they like to give us a token, right? And but they're not satisfied with giving us one token. They'll take one person, let's say it's a TV show, right? And there's 10 people in the cast. They'll choose one person, and that person is gay, black, handicapped, right? That person.
Opportunity roles.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what
no, it's not. It's not equal opportunity.
But
It's
you're right.
It's that one person, and they stack all of the representation
All the
in that
tokens.
one person.
Oh,
As
all
if-
in one.
All in one. It's a black. Look, it's 10 people, right? Let's say
Which
10.
political party are they?
Yeah, right. So it's a Democrat. It's a Democratic black lesbian.
It's got to be all on the
All
left
of it-
side these
well,
days. For
that-
popularity, trendy, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't like stacking. So
Yeah, I agree on that.
yeah, you know what I
Like
mean.
must make if it's a Republican, he's got to be fat middle-aged.
A fat middle-aged white guy.
With a high education, grew up rich. It must be that guy. He can't be black. He can't be gay. He can't be blah 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 blah. He's got to be hateful.
Well, one of the problems with for me anyway, with being considered a black Republican is I get lumped in with a lot of people who are kind of weird, like somebody who will be like, blacks will never amount to anything. We should get our act together. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're going on the other extreme. You're trying to, I guess, you mean well. You want to give us a kick in the pants or whatever, but you're putting us down by trying to lift us up. I don't understand it. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Well, that happens in the military. Break it down,
and build you back up.
Bullshit. Because you know what happens? What I call the beach ball effect.
Okay.
They think that, all right, listen, if you push a beach ball a little down, there's a certain point where it comes up, it's pop above the water. That's it. If you push it all the way down
it'll
to
pop
the
right
bottom
back
of the
up.
ocean, it's still going to just get that basic pop over the top.
Yep.
You're not getting anywhere
You're not
by
getting
pushing somebody all the way down to the bottom. Maybe a little push down, a little pop up. But throw it up in the air. You know what I mean? That beach ball.
Okay.
Get going and put it in the game. Anyway,
Okay.
So
did Harvey Weinstein? Did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself?
I hope he did. I don't know. I hope someone did.
Somebody did him in. Somebody said. Somebody claimed that Jeffrey Epstein is in an island somewhere.
Different island with Elvis and
with Elvis and Elvis and Bruce Lee and who else? Who's the girl with the mole and the blonde hair?
I don't know.
And she had the blowing kisses. She slept with JFK or some shit. What? Marilyn Monroe.
Oh,
so with Marilyn Monroe, Bruce Lee, and Tupac, right?
What I suspected.
What?
The guy, the lead of, what's his name? It was against him, whichever president, and they shot him in his home.
Oh Jesus!
Who was he? That Middle Eastern guy. I think he's on an island too, sipping back martinis with the rest of them.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of
the guy that was on the boat, the yachts with Bush.
Yeah,
associated with the Bush.
Oh, that guy. Okay, I think
they killed him supposedly.
Supposedly.
Yeah, and they just killed him.
What do you know about Tulsa, Oklahoma? Black Wall Street. What do you know about Black Wall Street? Yeah.
Well, you made it somewhere. How about that? How about it? Well, you got your Wall Street. Does it have walls, or is it just street? Wow.
You never heard of Black Wall Street, for real?
No.
Damn it, John. What the hell, John? John, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Greenwood? Not Greenwood. Greenwood, I think. Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's kind of like
Tulsa,
I think they're probably two different places though, Greenwood and
when did
Tulsa.
this come about?
Okay, look.
Is there no stock?
Listen. After slavery, a lot of the African Americans, what everyone now is calling FBA, right? So a lot of African Americans, or FBA,
what's that?
They formed Foundational Black America.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of them went ahead and they couldn't get work. They didn't want to go back to work because they were slaves. And then one day, they were quote unquote free. So they went and formed their own towns. They had their own. They had their own movie theaters. They had their own, limo services. All their business: taxi, limos, bus routes, inventors. Their own liquor district. No, just black people. Black. Right. So it was almost a city. It was part of a town. Right. So Tulsa, I think Tulsa's a city, and then part of Tulsa, I guess, would be the Black Wall Street, right? And so
how long ago was this? Back
1910. I'm not sure. FBA, don't come at me at the comments, bro. Like I don't know. You let us know in the comments where when Black Wall Street happened. So Black Wall Street's not only a when, a what. It was a when, right? It's not only a what and where. It's a when.
Still around?
They built it back up, but it was never the same. It's probably like maybe.
How did they draw the economy?
How did they have their?
How did they draw the economy in if they weren't trying to draw in white people to join in?
Well, I mean,
in support.
You think that it
bank robbing?
Yo, you trying to
That's
get
the right thing. I don't know. All right, go ahead. Drug dealers, hell no.
Oh my God.
Prostitution. I love
Prostitution.
that. That's a great idea.
No, I believe they were almost crime free, bro. So
Okay.
it was a good
Gentrified and
place.
wholesome. They had their own churches.
Hey,
too.
listen, but
I thought most of the slaves
okay, so
became Freemasons, to be honest.
listen, you believe that Tulsa needed white people to get the economy popping?
I had to get the money from somewhere. And, you were saying that, weren't you saying that the FBA, is that what you call them, right?
Foundational Black Americans, yeah.
That there's the ones that the Institute of the Economy initially? Well, that's not the history I read.
What do you mean?
Okay, we before the current Federal Reserve, we had banknotes. Each bank delivered their own. Maybe that's what they're doing.
No, but here's the thing. So you don't think they can? Hold on, because I need to.
Did they have their own currency? Maybe
I don't think they have their own currency. I think the regular U.S. dollar will do is just.
Okay.
Look, right now in the Black community, the U.S. dollar spends probably 7 hours. At least that's what they say. The average U.S. dollar and the average Black dollar spends like seven hours in the hands of a Black person or something like that until it makes it out of the community. You get that? How that works? That means like, oh man, I'm hoping I get that right. Basically, we spend it at the liquor store, and where does it go? It goes to the Koreans. We spend it at Chinese. Where does it go? It goes to the Chinese. We spend it at Crown Fried Chicken. Where does it go? Towards the Arabs. We let Arabs sell us fried chicken. That's crazy.
Where's the watermelon? That's even crazier. Oh no. I'm going stereotyping foods now.
All right. No, I wasn't stereotyping foods. I'm saying that Black people, we can cook up some fried chicken. Whether it's FBA, Foundational Black Americans, or whether it's Caribbean people, we can cook up some fried chicken. And we are letting Arabs, no disrespect to my Muslim brothers and sisters, but we letting y'all sell us fried chicken? That's crazy.
Well, you know what you should start doing?
What?
Selling
whatever.
Curry chicken.
So they don't. The Arabs, Indians eat curry. John, get your
that's what I'm saying. Get them back by selling them curry chicken.
They're not Indian. They're Arabs. That's different. They eat
it's some Malaysian.
Yeah, something. Yeah. You mean sell them their stuff. But
the Arabs eat.
The Arabs.
Potato.
Arabs eat depending on what region of Saudi Arabia or the Middle East from which they hail, John.
Maybe McDonald's burger even.
Don't come for me. Get him. Depending on which area in the Middle East. Depending on which area in the Middle East from which they hail, John.
The white or the black.
So let's say it's Arabs from like Ethiopia. They're Ethiopian Arabs.
Okay. Yeah.
They eat durawat.
What?
Durawat? Durawat? They eat durawat.
Durawat first.
Durawat after.
Durawat.
Dura, what you talking about? All right. So anyhow, look. I don't think they needed. We're back to FBA and Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Did they
I don't think they needed. No, they didn't sell Durawat. I don't think they needed an infusion of white dollars in the community to make it work. I think that
they probably had banknotes.
Banknotes, yeah.
To be used within the community, possibly,
the dollar's a dollar. You live in the country, you're using the U.S. dollar. However.
But you know, they didn't come around until like the 1920s. The first congressional party were the Rockefellers and
whatever the dollar, whatever the currency is at the time that everyone uses on a common basis. That's what they use, John.
Okay,
which is not to say that maybe the movie theaters there or the casinos there, whatever they had going on in Black Wall Street, wasn't unique and they didn't have their own kind of microcurrency within it.
No,
I'm saying that the macro currency was the regular U.S. dollar, but they were affluent. It's a bunch of affluent Black people.
Where did they get the money to start this all off? As well,
to start it all off.
They were working with or something, I guess.
That's what you mean. You mean the foundation, the seed money to kick all that off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah,
Or
you have
if
to
anyone
do
if anyone in the comments section can tell us where
we walk into it.
the founders.
Fuck to the comments. We're gonna find out.
We'll find out.
Make
We'll find
another
out.
video.
You gotta get.
Let you know.
John, that's not how it goes. You have to get
Comment.
You have to get their involvement. All right. You have to get their involvement.
Do I have to counter comment?
And don't never read the comments, John. In fact, I'm not gonna read. Well, I read every comment.
Do you? No worries.
No, because the thing is, they get pretty mean. Be like, oh my God, what's with the shirt he's wearing? they'll get that petty.
It's Ralph Lauren.
Oh,
it's Ralph Lauren. Are you kidding me?
Oh, he got the drip.
And the buck.
Oh, he got drip.
Drip. I got drip.
He got drip. Oh, ooh.
And I got liquidation price. At the liquidation store.
At the liquidation store.
I don't even know where I got the Ralph
where you
Lauren.
get the drip. Fine.
I like the Ralph Lauren even though it's torn up.
Ralph Lauren?
Whatever.
You said Ralph. No, Ralph Lauren. You said it correctly. You said it correctly. I said it kind of like the pedestrian way. But listen. Here's the thing, right? So, as far as FBA, you don't know much about Tulsa, Oklahoma. But do you know that it's only one in hundreds of cities or towns within cities that was started by black people that were rioted and destroyed by basically jealous white people?
Jealous, really? Or just hateful? How about that?
I'd say jealous.
Got our own, but you just want to not see you have yours. It might have been.
No, listen. At some point, some of the stuff I was reading, man. At some point, a lot of these poor whites who were living in trailers, and not to malign, my economically struggling. My struggle whites out there, but. Sometimes y'all be in them trailer parks. You feel me? And it's all right. It's all right. So sometimes they were in their trailer parks and their little shanties and stuff like that. And then at night they would hear all the commotion across town, right? So parties at clubs and dum whatever, ragtime, whatever the hell was going on at the time in terms of popular music. And they're like, who is carrying on like this, right? And then they go and check, or they send somebody to check, and they're like, it's a bunch of niggers. It's a bunch of negras, right? Whatever the variation was, right? It's a bunch of negras out there. They carrying on, Jed. They carrying on, Todd.
Natives are restless.
And so what they do is usually at that point they sabotage that community in some fashion. They send in maybe they send in a white woman to go in there, and
that would be called there's a term for it.
I don't know, but they send a white woman to look. A white woman get thrown in there, and hey Becky Sue, what you're gonna do is walk down the street, right, and the first nigger you bump into, you say he grabbed your ass. And so what happens is, that's what happens.
This is what the claims are, and they have historical proof.
Well, I mean,
otherwise it's exampling of here and there.